We've always referred to the little building as the cornerstone of Emerson's campus. So there was certainly a feeling that we really can't lose this significant contributor to the urban fabric of the Midtown Cultural District.
When this project began, it became more symbolic of the college to really do the right thing here.
The most significant challenge that we faced was the condition of the facade. The news was not good. The structural steel behind it were rusting to the point that they were pushing the stone out and cracking it. We knew we were going to have to take off all of the facade material to replace the steel.
We replaced the existing precast concrete with a new product called ultra high performance concrete. And we use that because it creates a very dense, low permeability concrete. Some of the panels you see behind me are probably an inch thick.
It's really important to address carbon and climate change because we need to radically decrease the carbon emissions in this industry. We try to save as much of the foundations and concrete slabs and steel superstructure as possible. We quantified how much embodied carbon that we reused, and that was 4,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide. It would take a forest the size of Boston Common 100 years to sequester that same amount of carbon.
Interestingly, the deterioration was worse the higher up in the building that you got. So we decided that we would save the podium, which is levels 1 and 2, and we would do a traditional restoration at those levels. And then we would have to replace all of the material above. Those are a lot of challenges that we face, but they presented opportunities. One of them was to bring the building back for another 75 to 100 years. In addition to that, probably the biggest opportunity was to enhance the student experience. So now we have these flexible double height common spaces. The one we're sitting in right now is your traditional common space. There's a small kind of kitchenette version of this where you could have a floor meal. And then the last bay, even further south, is a quiet lounge. One of the other opportunities was to give the bed count a boost. The end result was we went from 750 beds to 1,035. One was taking the common spaces that existed in the previous plan and backfilling them with beds. That gave us around about 18 or 19 additional beds per floor. The other strategy was to take advantage of a rather unusual characteristic of the little building, and that was the fact that on the roof there was a 14-foot 6-inch tall parapet. So we knew we could get another floor of rooms up there without impacting the historic architecture. The building doesn't look any taller.
Building reuse is climate action. We should always look at it from this perspective of the embodied carbon that's in the existing materials and whether or not a new building should be put there in its place.
There is character in this building and there is love in this building. And the fact that we could honor that and bring it back to that rather than ripping it down and putting up something ultra-modern is something to be proud of.
Emerson has always been committed to preservation. That is as important to the college to get right as it is to have the construction go well. Students came here and left and never saw the facade of the building, but they come back and are like in awe. It has changed the area. It transformed the area, in fact.